Hey there, and welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into a topic that affects, well, literally every single one of us, yet it's so incredibly misunderstood. We are unpacking the South African Wills Act 7 of 1953. Make no mistake, this is the single most important piece of legislation governing exactly how you leave your life's assets behind. It dictates what happens to your home, your savings, the whole shebang. But as we're about to see, navigating this act can feel like walking through a legal minefield. One wrong step, and your final wishes could be completely thrown out.
All right, let's kick things off by imagining you do absolutely nothing. If you pass away without a valid will, your assets are distributed according to the Intestate Succession Act. This system relies on incredibly rigid, unforgiving formulas. The law simply calculates who gets what based strictly on your bloodline, which, let's be honest, might not reflect your personal wishes at all. The alternative is the Wills Act, which grants you the awesome power of freedom of testation, the absolute right to choose exactly who gets what. But to earn that freedom, the law forces you to follow some very strict rules designed to prevent fraud. So to keep you out of trouble and help you avoid any accidental disinheritance, here's our roadmap for today. We're going to cover the freedom to choose, the golden rules of execution, the witness trap, the expensive rescue strategy, and finally, changing or canceling wills. Let's get right into it. Starting right off with Section 1, the freedom to choose. Under Section 4 of the Act, the very first requirement is actually super straightforward. It all comes down to age. If you want to draft a will, become a testator or testatrix in legal speak, you've got to be at least 16 years old. That is your baseline legal age to start planning an estate. But here's the catch. The absolute crucial point is mental capacity. It's not enough just to be 16. You have to fully understand the nature and the effect of what you're signing at the exact moment you put pen to paper. If someone's dealing with severe dementia, or maybe they're in the hospital on heavy painkillers and kind of out of it, that document can and probably will be challenged in court. That exact moment of signing, that is the critical window. You need total clarity.
All right, moving on to Section 2, the golden rules of execution. This is the physical drafting phase. And honestly, this is where most DIY estate planning goes horribly, horribly wrong. If you don't follow these 4 exact steps under Section 211A, the Master of the High Court will toss your document right out. Number 1, put it in writing. Typed, handwritten, doesn't matter. Number 2, you, the testator, must sign at the very end. And if there are multiple pages, you've got to sign or initial every single preceding page. Number 3, you need 2 or more competent witnesses present simultaneously. They have to be in the room with you at the exact same time. And finally, number 4, those witnesses have to sign the last page right there in front of you and each other. If you miss just one initial on page 2, or a witness steps out for a second to grab a coffee while you sign, boom, the whole thing is legally worthless.
Just to give you a stark reality check on just how strict this in-writing rule really is, think about our digital lives today. A super heartfelt WhatsApp video message to your family explaining who gets what, it might feel incredibly authentic, right? But South African law demands physical, written proof. Period. Digital or video wills, strictly invalid. No way around it. The law cares about wet ink on paper, not your smartphone recording.
Which brings us to Section 3, the witness trap.
Guys, this is a massive, hidden minefield. We're talking about the people who actually watch you sign. According to Sections 1 and 4B, a competent witness is just anyone 14 years or older who is mentally capable of giving evidence in a court of law. Sounds super easy to find a 14-year-old, right? But the absolute danger lies in exactly who you choose.
Because here is the biggest ethical and legal trap in the entire Wills Act, the disqualification rule. Picture this. You finish writing your will at the kitchen table and you ask your spouse or your child to co-sign as a witness. Well, by doing that, you just accidentally disinherited them. Seriously, anyone who signs as a witness, or even their spouse at the time of signing, is automatically disqualified from receiving any inheritance from that will. Oh, and they cannot be appointed as the executor either. It is brutal.
So the lesson here is simple but absolutely crucial. Protect your loved ones by keeping them far, far away from the pen. Only use completely independent outsiders. Call your neighbors over, ask a colleague, bribe your accountant with a cup of coffee, whatever works. If someone stands to gain even a single cent from your estate, they shouldn't even be in the same zip code as that document when you sign it.
Okay, let's look at Section 4, the expensive rescue strategy.
This brings us to a bit of a cautionary tale. What actually happens if you skip a step? Let's say you draft this beautiful, thoughtful 3-page will. You sign page 1, you sign page 2, but then you get distracted or you just forget and you die without ever signing page 3. The master of the High Court is going to reject it. So, is all hope completely lost? Well, South African law does offer a lifeline under Section 2.3. If a document is messed up formally, you can take it to the High Court. If you can prove, without a shadow of a doubt, that the deceased person truly intended for that exact flawed document to be their final will, the court can actually order the master to accept it. It's a rescue mission.
But let's slow down for a second because the stakes here are so high. This rescue comes with a massive warning label. High court applications are incredibly expensive and just a nightmare of stress. The legal fees alone will heavily drain the estate's cash reserves long before your heirs see a single cent. So yes, it's a rescue strategy, but it's one that deeply depletes the exact wealth you were trying to pass down in the first place. Doing it right the first time is just infinitely cheaper. Finally, let's wrap up with Section 5, changing or canceling wills. Look, your life changes, and your estate plans need to evolve right alongside you. But if you have an existing will and you just want to scratch out a sentence or update a name, you can't just grab a Sharpie and cross it out. Under Section 2(1)(b), any amendment on the physical document has to be signed and initialed right next to the change by you, and, here's the kicker, by the exact same 2 witnesses. This strict rule is there to prove someone didn't just forge a change after the fact.
Now, obviously, finding the exact same 2 witnesses years later is pretty much impossible. So the safest route is usually full revocation, just canceling the old will entirely. The easiest way to do this? Draft a brand new will with a standard revocation clause, saying something like, "I hereby revoke all previous wills." Or, alternatively, you can physically destroy the old document yourself. Just tear it up into pieces or toss it in the fire, specifically with the intent to cancel it forever.
So we've walked through the rigid rules, the witness traps, and the crazy expenses of getting it wrong. I want to leave you with one final high-stakes question to think about today. Is your will actually legally valid, or is it literally just a piece of paper? If you've been doing DIY estate planning or haven't looked at your documents in a few years, I highly urge you to double-check them against these rules right now. Your legacy and your family's peace of mind completely depend on it. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and seriously, go check those documents.